Alright, so another deck profile. This is going to be for the Lair branded. There's quite a bit of a new improvement here again for Ferris God 10. So we got a couple of support there, and I was able to kind of customize this and try out a couple of different cards. Now, usually I'm not a big fan of the new card that I added in here, but it's worth a try, and I'll put some explanation in there. And if you guys want to try this deck out, feel free to. But mostly using this as a reference if I want to go back to it. Still waiting for the stupid ban list. It's still not out. It's September 24th. All the other trading card games have gotten their ban list, but we still don't. So yeah. So for this one, triple luber. This is to get your branded spells and trap, and mainly you get the branded fusion or branded opening, something that you can utilize to bring out the Christia combo like I showed. And on top of that, I'm only playing two of the Fallen Albas, just because I think that I can manage with the resource a little bit better, and I don't necessarily need the three Albas. I can work with it, but it's up to you guys. Most of the branded decks they play three Albas, but these seems to be working out. But that's just kind of player preference from there. But this is the only branded stuff I'm playing because it's not a pure branded Despia or branded engine. So these are the only five cards that I need. And then for the Lair, we play three of the Arima, which is the searcher for the field spell. This is all I need for the Lair engine. Outside of this is just the two Lilith, which kind of helps out because if they do, let's say they activate what's called a dimensional barrier, to call fusion, you don't have to kind of your whole deck doesn't really stop from just playing fusion. You can just normal summon Lilith, and you can get all your other trap cards in here. So it's a pretty good balance between having the fusion for pushing for game and stun, and also using the trap cards as a utility. And for branded targets, so we have the Christia and the Rock. These are really good just because you can dump Christia to make Albion, and then Albion can make the Mirror Jade, and you use Mirror Jade even if in your first turn, as long as you can banish one other monster besides Mirror Jade, you can use the what do you call this? Banishment. Oh no, the expulsion. You can banish the expulsion, so you can bring this back and one other monster, and that kind of locks them from special summoning in general, not just from extra deck. So, so far this has been like a win condition for me. Really amazing. The rock just gives you so much option, which I'm kind of going back and forth with different kind of option on the extra deck. You can play the Blue Ice Tyrant. You can play the Millennium Ice Restrict. Now that Dragoon got reprinted as well, you can play Dragoon with this because you have Dragon target, and then this replaces the Dark Magician. So different option. Just depends on how you like to play it, and depends on how your build is. So, but so far these two are the light targets, and it's a dark based deck, which is weird enough, but most of the time when I activate branded fusion, actually I want to say like a good 95-98% of the time, branded fusion, these are the two things I dump from deck to graveyard to use the branded fusion. These are the new ad, which is the Heavenly Prison, Lord of the Heavenly Prison. This definitely speeds up the process where you can protect your back row, because if you get Harpy's Feather Duster or Lightning Storm and hits your back row, it does hurt because you lose a lot of cards. So this protects your back row. That was my main objective with this, is just to protect the back row, but it also speeds up the process because if either player activates a set card, you can special summon this and then set a spell trap from your deck. So what I usually do is that in the end phase, um, I activate one of my trap cards, and then I special summon this, and this would set either Eradicator or deck dev. So it speeds it up, and it's a dark with 3000 attack, so it fits the requirements. Really helps out a lot. I'm thinking about bumping this up to 3, but also at the same time, the deck is pretty tight because there's a lot of tech cards. I just want to make sure uh, I get like the protection for the back row, but also at the same time it's not a dead card. And for the spells, we have the 3 branded opening because it does help out. This is something that I changed from last time. This used to be a Dragon Keeper, but Dragon Keeper takes up the normal summon, which the normal summon you can either use that for Lilith or the Aluber or the Albas. But definitely branded opening is such a powerful card. Gives you the special summon for Aluber, and it also gives you that protection as well. And branded fusion, I mean everybody knows what this card does. Really amazing card. It gives you, it starts up your play where you can summon Albion, and then Albion can make him a Mirror Jade, or depending on the situation you can do like other plays. And then for the Lair, we have the 3 field spell, which is super amazing because it makes everything dark. And then if you tribute, you get a token. Even if you tribute during your opponent's turn, it gives them a token. Doesn't necessarily matter because Lilith can tribute the token again. So you kind of control the game both your turn and your opponent's turn. And then with field spells, we play the 1 Mystic Mind. Just because you can search this with Arima, you can get this from Metaverse. So the 1 Mystic Mind does help because you also play the 1 Terraforming. So most of the time you'll have the Lair of Darkness, but if you end up getting forced to be going second, you can get the Mystic Mind, and you won't get hand trapped during your turn to just kind of get your fusion combo started. And then since we play the Lair, everything becomes dark. Super Poly is such a huge win condition here. Everything becomes dark, so it's easy to go into Mud Dragon and especially Garura. And Garura, when it attacks, when it's 15, it's open field, which most of the time it becomes open field because you tribute their monster or you super poly it. That's a 3000 damage right away. So super poly is amazing. For one-offs, Reborn and Call by the Grave, just really good cards. And then the new addition here would be the 3 Pot of Prosperity. It really does give a consistency to the deck. You don't necessarily need the extra deck. And then for the extra deck, which I'm going to show you in a little bit here, I play 3 copies of the Albion just because I'd rather have it and not need it, or I'd rather have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So 3 Prosperity, you can banish like the second copy of Mirror Jade and the 3rd copy of Albion and other super poly target just in case. It just having the consistency versus having extra copies is a good trade-off. So I'm testing this out, see how it works, but we'll go from there. And then for the trap cards, which normally I'm not a big fan of trap cards, but this deck utilizes it so fast. I don't like how trap cards are pretty slow because you have to set it, you have to wait. I'm more of a combo based player, but with this deck, the trap cards become a combo pieces as well. So triple trap trick, because this basically means that you have copies of every single trap you have, as long as you have 2 copies of it. So with that being said, the triple trap trick becomes either the 2 Eradicator, again, which is also at the same time, you can set this with the Heavenly Prison, so it makes it faster now. You don't have to go trap trick into Eradicator. You can just go Heavenly Prison, special summon it, set the Eradicator, and then use the Heavenly Prison as a tribute target for it. worst case scenario. But most of the time, you wait until your opponent summons something that's 2500 or more attack, and then you use that as a eradicator target. Same idea, same premise with the deck div. You wait till your opponent summons something that's 2000 or more attack, and then you use that as tribute. But again, worst case scenario is that you already exhausted their resources and they can't even summon or they can't do anything. So you use the deck dev and eradicator to tribute your own heavily prison. Um, this one's a good personal tech of mine, the Ballista Squad. I've tested it out. There's different couple ones. There's Dark Light. There's Enemy Controller. But so far I like this one. So if you have Lair of Darkness and this, you're basically getting rid of two cards. Um, Mainly you want to get rid of the anything that would have a negate, because tributing would be a cost. So you would tribute one of their monster, and then you can pop any card. It doesn't have to pop a monster. You can pop a spell trap, whatever you want to get rid of off their field. So there's that. Two back of the front, because this brings back your either your Christia that you discarded, this Christia that you dumped, or you can bring back the Mirror Jade that you tributed off of the expulsion. So it would be technically a new Mirror Jade, and you can use its effect again. This is a really good card. And then I played two of each of the trap cards just because of Trap Trick. So you can just banish one and then set one. And then Lost Wind. This one, I was going back and forth between Imperm and Lost Wind. So far, I'm liking Lost Wind a lot more because I'm also trying out the other Lady Element. I believe the name is Malice or so. It's the one that tribute to monster to set a trap card from your grave or your banish. So there's a whole cycle where you can get the Lost Wind, and it's also a good target for Trap Trick, just in case they Harpies, Feather Duster, or Lightning Storm you. You can chain the Trap Trick and set the banish the other one, and then set the Lost Wind, because even though it gets destroyed, it's already in the grave, so it's in the cycle. So if they summon something from the extra deck, you can reset it back. So it's not necessarily a waste. But yeah, you can also use this to kind of put it in the cycle, and then there's one of the Lady Element where you can tribute two monster and bring this back from the graveyard. So yeah. And then last of the two would be Ice Dragon Prison. I decided to pick some trap card that would not be reliant on the field spell, because their objective would be trying to get rid of the field spell, because sometimes it does stop them, or we have a bunch of cards that would benefit off of the field spell, so it's one of the things that they would try to get rid of. So I wanted to get a trap that would be super useful without relying on the field spell. And then just the one-offs, because the expulsion, you can get this from Albion, so you don't really need to play more than one copy because it can be dead. This is really just a card that you want to set using Albion. And then the Metaverse, because it's a one. So if you're playing through it, they get rid of it. You can bring back the Lair of Darkness from the deck to the field, or you can put the Mystic Mine, and you kind of stall from there until you get all the cards that you needed. So yeah, those are all the traps. Again, pretty balanced with the amount of monster spells and traps. For the extra deck, we have 3 copies of Albion. So this got reprinted as Secret Rare, Prismatic Secret Rare, and the new Gold tin, which I'm pretty happy about. It's so shiny, because for the longest time I've been playing the common ones because I don't want to spend the money on the original art. But I feel like the secret Prismatic Secret Rare looks a lot better. So yeah, I'm playing 3 copies. A couple of reasons would be, one, it's a Prosperity Father, and also at the same time, in one turn you can already use 2. One is to summon, dumping the Christia to the graveyard, and then the second one is to send using Mirror Jade's effect, so you can trigger it off in the end phase and set the expulsion, so you can tribute the Mirror Jade that you used. since it won't activate its effect on your opponent's turn anyways. You tribute it and bring the Christia back from the graveyard. Uh, and then from there on, you have all your back row to kind of support it. So there's that. I play 2 Mirror Jade. Really, you only really need 1. But again, now it's the second one would be a prosperity target, and then um, either that or you can use it as just a backup, because Mirror Jade is just too strong, and it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So, one Lubellion. No, it's weird because it is a dark base deck, but I only play 1 Lubellion just because there's not really any dark monster in here that you want to send to the graveyard. There's been different variations I made where I play the Shadal Beast, or I played the Diabolos, but it just based on playing it, it's not necessarily needed. There's just other cards that I can play in replacement of those. So 1 Lubellion still helps because you can shuffle back the cards that you've already used if it gets a little grindy. Um, but yeah, it's always good to have just in case. Masquerade is okay. The whole part where it deals 600 or they have to pay 600 to activate a card and effect, sometimes it does help because it makes it to where if you're grinding, it brings him down to like a lower attack, and then once you get your power cards, you can just go off from there. But yeah, it does help. And it's also a dark 2500, so you can, after they kind of use up their resources, you can use deck Devi and then get rid of like their field if they're trying to go off with a combo. Millennium Ice Restrict, the Dragoon, which is a print from the tin, and then the Tyrant Dragon. These 3 would be your rock targets. So when you dump the rock and then you use Albion to summon something, these 3 would be your target to go into. If you normally when I'm going first and I want to try and make sure like I get like the searches and all, I try to go for the Millennium Ice Restrict. This is probably something I can replace. It doesn't really come up a whole lot. This is something I'm trying out, but I've tested out Dragoon. I had the original copy before, and I tested it out. It's really amazing. You won't get the 2 pops because you're not using the vanilla monster, but you still have the negate and its own protection. Tyrant Dragon is my favorite so far. It's a trap heavy base deck. So this guy, when you bring it out, if it when it destroys a monster by battle, or I think it's doing damage calculation, it sets a trap card from your graveyard back to your field. So it just kind of keep recycling your trap cards. This guy can also attack all your opponent's monster. He's unaffected by trap cards as well, so he can't be impermed. So it's just really amazing card in general. Its requirement is Blue Eyes and a dragon monster, but again, the rock replaces the Blue Eyes. So really awesome targets. And then for the Super Poly, we have the Mud Dragon, which is amazing because when you have the Lair, everything becomes dark. So it'll always be the same attribute. And then if they're playing like a different deck that have like different engines and they're different types, everything becomes dark still. So Mud Dragon is a lot more live in this deck than any other deck that you use Super Poly on. I play 2 Garura, just because again it can be a prosperity target, but at the same time it's just a really good card to just get rid of their board because most decks right now are playing same type, same attribute anyways. On top of that, there is the Starving Venom, and this one is one of my favorite as well. Just because everything becomes dark, so if they kind of pop off, I wait until they get like a really big board, and then I get rid of 3 of their monsters. So this guy has been my favorite Super Poly target, with specifically just with this deck, but normally it would be Garura. So yeah, that's the extra deck and the main deck. I'm sure there's going to be quite a bit of changes when we get the ban list, or when we get other stuff. But so far with the Pharaoh's God Tin. I was able to I bought one case, and then I was able to pull um, 3 prosperity in one tin, which apparently is not that common. But I was able to pull 3 prosperity, and I wanted to try it out in this deck. And so far, it's been giving me quite a bit of consistency, and it's working out a lot better here. Also, the tin have reprinted the branded opening and the aluber, so this deck should be fairly cheap and well, minus the prosperity still, but we should be able to like build this deck and try it out if you guys want to. But again, I'm just using this as a reference if I want to rebuild it. But you guys are more than welcome to try it out.